Counting or not counting gang violence? Great. I love how Mormons have more.
He was just shot! There were gunshots.
It was meant to be another rally stop, a sunny Wednesday in Utah. Charlie Kirk was on a speaking tour, his American comeback tour. He was at the Utah Valley University taking questions from the audience outdoors. Someone asked him about mass shootings. Kirk was just answering, and seconds later a shot rang. A bullet hit his neck. He slumped on the ground. The crowd ran for cover. It was not clear where the shot was fired from, a rooftop or an open window. The shooter is still missing, but Charlie Kirk lost his life to the bullet. And in that instant, America was reminded again that gun violence does not spare anyone, not even those who support guns.
There's been a shooting. We heard shots. We heard shots.
He was just shot!
Oh my gosh!
Oh my God.
Oh my gosh!
There were gunshots.
So who was Charlie Kirk, and what does his killing mean for America? Charlie Kirk was 31 years old. He was born in suburban Chicago. He dropped out of college. At the age of 18, he co-founded something called Turning Point USA. It's a non-profit conservative advocacy group. In a decade, it grew into an empire. It became the largest conservative youth movement in the US. So Kirk was more than a talking head. He was a pipeline. He would train young conservatives straight out of college, and many of them ended up working for Trump's campaign or the White House. And that got him close to the US president. Kirk's rise was meteoric. He had a famous podcast, The Charlie Kirk Show. He had millions of followers on X and TikTok. He was a best-selling author, and he was controversial. He criticized immigration. He spoke against abortion. He was against women's rights over their bodies. He endorsed conspiracy theories on the pandemic and climate change. But love him or loathe him, you could not ignore him. He was an influential conservative voice. Trump leaned on him to energize young voters. Charlie Kirk helped flip Arizona back to the Republican Party. He helped sell J.D. Vance to the MAGA base. He became part of the inner orbit of the Trump world, which is why the US president was quick to react. He called the shooting, and I'm quoting, a dark, dark day for America.
From the attack on my life in Butler, Pennsylvania last year, which killed a husband and father, to the attacks on ICE agents, to the vicious murder of a healthcare executive in the streets of New York, to the shooting of House Majority Leader Steve Scalise and 3 others, radical left political violence has hurt too many innocent people and taken too many lives. Tonight, I ask all Americans to commit themselves to the American values for which Charlie Kirk lived and died, the values of free speech, citizenship, the rule of law, and the patriotic devotion and love of God. Charlie was the best of America, and the monster who attacked him was attacking our whole country.
So Trump blamed the left for this. He blamed the rhetoric, he blamed the system, but he did not mention the gun. And it's not just Donald Trump. Charlie Kirk himself mocked calls for reform. He cheered open gun laws. He tied firearm rights to freedom itself. In his world, America's Second Amendment was not just a law. The Second Amendment of the US Constitution protects the right of the people to keep and bear arms. For Charlie Kirk, that was a way of life, which is why the irony is cruel. A man who spent his career defending guns was brought down by one. For now, the hunt is on for the shooter. There is a massive manhunt underway. But even if they solve this case, they won't solve the larger problem because this is a nightmare on repeat. Every day, Americans die from gun violence, mass shootings, suicides, stray bullets, schools, churches, concerts, campuses, Republican states, Democratic states, big cities, small towns. It covers all of America. As of July 2025, there were nearly 19,000 gun violence deaths and more than 2,200 mass shootings this year. And yet, America is divided over it. One side prays, the other side protests, and the guns remain. Will Charlie Kirk's death change that? You see, political violence is not new to the US, but it always shocks. John F. Kennedy, Martin Luther King Jr., Robert F. Kennedy, the recent shooting on Donald Trump, they jolted the country, but the assassination of a polarizing figure like Kirk does something else. It forces people to sit with contradictions. Here was a man who preached that guns protect freedom, who told audiences not to fear them, who dismissed calls for reform, and he died by the very weapon he defended. It's a reminder that bullets do not discriminate by ideology. So again, will America act now, or will Charlie Kirk's name be added to a list of martyrs? Chances are it will be the latter because the US has normalized gun violence. Every shooting makes headlines, the politicians promise action, the headlines fade, and the cycle resumes. Charlie Kirk's death is not just a political assassination, it is another symptom of a country bleeding out one bullet at a time.
First post now available in 9 languages on YouTube. English,
Stands at $36 trillion.
French,
Le FMI, comme
German,
Geschäftsführenden Direktor
Hindi,
$30 trillion kakarjo.
Indonesian,
Pemerintah tanpa pemeriksaan.
Italian,
Sekali radikali.
Japanese,
4 兆ドル以上の
Portuguese,
por causa do próprio balanço patrimonial.
Spanish.
Beautiful bill.
Go to Settings, click on Audio Track and select a language of your choice. Be the first to know what's happening around you in your first language. First post.